Dang, this game is weird. And I mean that in the best way possible. It's really hard to tell you what I mean, so I'll just show you. Bright Memory is kinda like a first-person Devil May Cry with a side of Bulletstorm. You play as this cute gal named Shelia. She is pretty and cool. Shelia is a member of the emergency inspection team of the Supernatural Science Research. At the start of the game, she is fighting against the SAI who have infiltrated the SRO to steal the Kanshou and Bakuya, which are 1,000-year-old swords. At the core of these swords lies the soul of Zhuizhan, I think, which has the power to reanimate the dead. The leader of the SAI is Carter, Shelia's adoptive father, and during their confrontation, Shelia activates the quantum transporter device which transports them to the floating islands. Once they get there, the ancient swords activate, reanimating the dead on the islands. Shelia must then fight through the undead while tracking down Carter. Wow, such an in-depth and fascinating plot for an action shooter game. Don't worry, I was the one who explained it to you, and I don't even know what I said. I wouldn't try to remember too much of the story, and I'll explain why a bit later. For now, let's get into where this game shines. The gameplay in Bright Memory is really what I think most people will play this game for. Wait, you mean they're not playing it for the immersive storytelling? I don't even think the developer made it for the storytelling. Zhang Chang, the developer, even said that it took roughly 15 to 20 days to write the script, and the game only took about a year to make. It's pretty obvious that the dev really put most of their time into the gameplay mechanics. The game plays like an 8-ounce sirloin and a fully loaded baked potato with the side of those nasty little steamed vegetables. You got your tender, juicy gunplay alongside some warm, buttery controls, but then something goes amiss. You go in for your last bite of the fluffy interior of that high-quality russet, and you accidentally scoop up a green bean that looks like it's a shriveled up worm. What I mean is, you go in for the killing blow on a monster, only to accidentally hit the dodge backwards button, sending your character off a cliff, forcing you to restart from your last checkpoint. It's real good, but with some polish, it would be great. Honestly, I really like it. The gameplay, clunk aside, is really fun. It's one of those when you really get the combat down, you feel like a badass even though you only killed like 2 skeletons. The gun mechanics feel solid, and I would compare it to something like Titanfall or Call of Duty. In fact, Zhang has even said that Bright Memory is kinda like a shout out to Call of Duty and Bulletstorm, and playing the game makes that very apparent. Alongside the gunplay is the abilities. You have a light blade that can do quick comboing slices, a light slash which has a bigger slash than the normal slices, and a jump slash that sends enemies flying into the air. Enemies are suspended in the air Bulletstorm style, letting you do whatever you want to them. You can continue slicing them, but that does have a cooldown, so shooting them with guns is typically what I do. You also have a grapple that functions comparable to the whip in Bulletstorm. I mean, they perform very differently, but they look similar and can do some of the same things. As the name implies, you can grapple to things, specifically enemies and very specific objects. Unlike in Bulletstorm, where you pull the things to you, you actually get sent flying towards whatever you grapple. Along with the grapple, sword, and guns, you have access to a variety of different abilities. You unlock these abilities by spending experience points you get from defeating enemies. First, we have EMP, which blasts enemies in front of you, causing damage and launching them into the air. Next is Time Freeze. Time Freeze generates a quantum field, freezing enemies caught in it for a duration. Last is Lightning, which simply just shocks the foes, Force Lightning style. These power-ups are cool and all, but did they really have to be mapped to the same button? You can't even reassign actions to different keys in this version of the game. You have to spam the same button to cycle through the different abilities. Press once for EMP, twice for Time Freeze, and 3 times for Lightning. I get that the dev was going for a fast-paced shooter, but I don't think that bringing up a mini menu to choose the ability you want to use would have slowed down the game all that much. It could have even been done in a similar manner to Final Fantasy VII Remake, where time all but stops while you are selecting an attack. Better yet, why not use any one of these other buttons that aren't being used? It's free real estate! As I stated earlier, this game was made in roughly a year's time, and it was created by one person. For what this game is, that's an incredible feat. This was not done without some controversy though. The dev actually used some stolen assets for the game while in development. People noticed this and called them out. The dev responded and said that they had used things like enemy models from other sources, but had tweaked them to fit the world. All stolen assets have since been removed and replaced. Looking at them, you can tell the new models aren't as good or detailed, which I assume is why the dev originally borrowed some art. The dev had done something wrong and did the right thing by removing the stolen art. They even went as far as to reconcile with the owners of said art. It's good to see that the dev has done what they can to try and atone for their mistake. Personally, I didn't even know about this controversy until I had started writing this video. I originally heard about this game from the Xbox Series X showcase, and that was actually for the follow-up of this game, Bright Memory Infinite. Having played and loved games like Titanfall and Bulletstorm, when I originally saw this trailer for Bright Memory Infinite, I knew I would love this game. After watching that trailer, I did some investigating and found the original game, Bright Memory Episode 1. I was a bit hesitant to buy it at first, but after learning that if I buy this one, that I would get Infinite for free, it was a no-brainer. So basically, Bright Memory was made as a demo to see if it would be successful. After it picked up steam, the devs stopped working on the original game and started up the larger project Bright Memory Infinite. According to the Bright Memory Infinite Steam page, Episode 1 was made to test the waters as well as a way to crowdfund Infinite. It accomplished its goal, and as a result, Bright Memory Infinite is set to be released at some point in 2021, with reworked levels and a new story. The original does a great job of being a playable teaser for what is likely to come with Infinite. While playing, I could tell that there seemed to be a lot that wasn't fully realized with the game. And if the trailers for Infinite are any indication, it's plain to see that those concepts are being utilized to their full potential. I have very high hopes for Bright Memory Infinite, but even if it doesn't live up to the hype, I'm sure it will still be an enjoyable experience. But for real, I bought this game for a cheaper price than buying Master Chief in Fortnite, and I get Infinite for free too? Your move, Phil Spencer. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you have enjoyed my little history/review of Bright Memory. It was really interesting learning a bit about the development of this game, and if you're interested in learning more, check out the link in the description to an article I found telling about how the game was made. Quick shout out to our Patreons as well, where we appreciate you and the support you guys give us. Thanks again, and as always, keep it rad.